boring, after a while, it kind of was. While we're paying attention to all these buildings, if you can, do take notice of all the bridge tender houses for the drawbridges that span the Chicago River. The bridge houses are all very different, quite unique, have their own design. Take notice of them. Also take notice of the bridges themselves. They all have minor differences, including the railings. The type of drawbridge we have here, Chicago type, fixed trunnion, double leaf, bascule bridge. And bascule is a French term for seesaw or teeter-totter. That's pretty much what they are. Precisely balanced seesaws on either side. It takes a very small amount of horsepower to raise and lower them. They can go up in about a minute's time, come back down about a minute's time. People do tend to ask whether they're still operable. The answer is yes. Used to be manned 24/7 when the river was much more industrial. Now they raise in springtime and fall time for the sailboats, normally on Wednesdays and Saturdays. While they sit there. So right now we're exiting Ogden Slip where we're docked, and Ogden Slip was named after the city's first mayor, William Butler Ogden. Chicago was founded as a town back in 1833, population roughly 400. March 4th, 1837, population roughly 4,000. Chicago became a city. Today, about 2.7 million people in the city limits. And by 2027, the small peninsula here to our right should be turned into a park, named after the area's first permanent non-native settler, Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable, or du Sable, who came to the area back in 1779. He was born down in Haiti back in 1745. His mother was a Haitian slave. His father was French. His homestead was where the current day Tribune Tower, Wrigley Building, and Apple Store are today. There were roughly 20 acres at that site. It was there for about 20 years, and at that time, it was a lakefront. For the most part, everything in this area, east of Michigan Avenue, is landfill. Some natural, some man-made. Go to Grant Park, Buckingham Fountain, landfill. Neighbor to our right called Streeterville, landfill. Expensive landfill, but still landfill. About 160 acres of it. So here in Chicago, we have 4 double-decker drawbridges, the 4 Lakeshore Drive above, the youngest, 1937. As we clear the roadway, an explosion of buildings and architecture before and around us. Right here to our left, a newer landmark now graces the downtown skyline. Chicago's third tallest building and tallest building in the world by a woman-owned architectural firm, Studio Gang Architects. Architect's name is Jeannie Gang. She's headquartered here in Chicago. Initially called Vista Tower, now the residence at St. Regis. Bottom 12 floors is going to have a roughly 190-room hotel. They're above about 400 condos. As you can see, they're going to have like 5 or 6 different shades of green glass transitioning up and down the building. That space near the top has no glass is called a blow-through floor. You would not add glass to that space. It will stay open as you see to allow the air and wind to pass through the building to help the structure's stability. No, the residents cannot access that space. About 24 months ago, roughly, floors 71 and 72, that last setback and floor above, 1 unit, 2 floors, 10,000 square feet inside, 7,000 square feet outside, $20.5 million. It is very hard to imagine, especially if I've never been here before, but I remember clearly back in 2000, here to our left was a 9-hole, 28-acre, par 3 public golf course. 60 years ago, railroad land. 160 years ago, for the most part, there was no land. It was a harbor. That's a brand new neighborhood, Lakeshore East. Now, time while you're here, explore it. Very nice 6-acre public park, dead center. From the Riverwalk here to our left, walk right to the fence, under Wacker Drive, under the building, be right there at the park. As of now, there are like 2 more pieces of vacant land to work with, a corner site, a site in the background, and they'll be done. The crystalline building to our left, all the horizontals, is called the Coast Rental BKL Architecture of Chicago. The triangular-shaped building to our left coming up, the blue and silver glass, is Swiss Hotel. 1988 architect Harry Weiss. The triangular shape was to maximize river views from the hotel rooms. I like the colors, shapes, and textures. It's all 3 buildings to our left coming up kind of visually slammed together. In the background of the gap here to our left, that undulating floor plate that is called Aqua, also by Studio Gang Architects. Bottom 20 floors, Radisson Blu Hotel. Next 30 floors, apartments. Last 30 floors, condos. The ways are balconies. And finally, to our left, down Columbus, now Chicago's fourth tallest building, and I still think tallest in the world, but its name changed twice. Initially, the Standard Oil Building, Big Stand, then the Amical Building, it is now Aon Center. It was the world's tallest marble-clad building when built. However, it no longer is. Now, because a taller building had been built clad with marble, that structure is no longer covered with that material. Back in the late 80s, they realized that thin marble was cracking and buckling was in danger of falling off the building. Whoops. Did not hold up to the freeze-thaw cycle that we have every year and have had every year in this area of the completion of planet Earth. And until we reclad that building with granite from North Carolina, and it cost roughly $80 million. It cost $120 million to build the entire building in the first place. Right-hand side for a while with that dome on top, the Hotel Intercontinental. Nothing in that dome but mechanical space. Building itself, 1929. Initially called the Medina Athletic Club, the Shriners. It's a men's club and hotel. Short 6-story building to our right coming up is called the Gleacher Center. It just serves as a downtown campus for the University of Chicago. And apparently, none of the classrooms in this building have windows. They thought the windows would be a distraction for the students downtown. This is totally dumb. Well, they need little blinds, not a blank wall. Blank walls make buildings look ugly. This mid-century modernist black box to our right coming up now just goes by its address of 401 North Michigan Avenue. Completed back in 1965, designed by Skidmore, owing to Merrill. In fact, designed by a female architect that got recognized for this project, Natalie Dubois. And tucked under the plaza to our right coming up, the Apple Store by Foster & Partners of London, 2017. It's always kind of reminded me of a half-open MacBook Pro. Same location with Jean-Baptiste Point-du-Sable at his cabin and fur trading post. Double-decker Michigan Avenue Bridge of 1920. And to our right coming up, the elegant white glazed terracotta-clad Wrigley Building. The section of the river is 1921, northern half 1924. Spanish Revival in its design, some French Renaissance elements. It's clad with 6 different shades of white glazed terracotta, fireproof baked clay. This is